This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. It's Thursday, September 15th. Welcome to today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Here are today's top stories. The Arkansas Department of Parks and Tourism unveiled a preview of the proposed $7.6 million spring and summer advertising and marketing campaign that makes greater use of mobile, social media, and other web-influenced digital products to get adventure-seeking millennials and other travelers to visit the natural state. Unlike campaigns of the past, when finished TV spots and glossy marketing materials were readily available, this year's proposal from Little Rock advertising firm CJRW and Aristotle offered a customizable campaign that will allow for some quick development of new TV spots, digital media, and marketing collateral. Read all about it at talkbusiness.net. Later on today on our website, you can read a wrap-up of some of the campaign filing reports from a number of legislative candidates and ballot issue campaigns. Look for that story later this evening. In Walnut Ridge, two monuments dedicated to the rock and roll era. The Beatles monument, a 10-foot by 20-foot aluminum mural, depicts the famed Abbey Road album cover. The city also sports another monument, the Guitar Walk, which depicts the early years of some of the rock legends that cut their teeth in honky-tonks all over the Delta and around the Rock and Roll Highway, Highway 67. All of that is sparking some economic development in Walnut Ridge. Check out the story at talkbusiness.net. Finally, the Little Rock Tech Park has encountered some unexpected costs. Additional construction and abatement expenses associated with the demolition of two downtown buildings will add nearly $360,000 to the cost of the city's new tech village. It's expected to be up and running in early 2017. And those are your top stories of the day. You can keep up with these stories and much more on our website at talkbusiness.net. After the break, State Senator Jeremy Hutchinson outlines his legislative agenda for 2017. Plus, we'll go inside the numbers for some top business headlines. And Chris Cillizza with the Washington Post. He has a new political podcast. It's a quiz show. We will reveal the answers when we come back.
First Security is here. Only here. So that means we're here, here, and here. Even here. And definitely here. Because here is where we want to be for you. First Security Bank. Only in Arkansas.
Arkansas's most abundant natural resource provides the core asset for Deltic Timber Corporation. In addition to the sustainable yield stewardship of its well-stocked timberlands, Deltic adds value by integrating its efficient wood products manufacturing facilities, as well as through planned development of commercial and residential real estate. Deltic Timber Corporation, creating value for a growing Arkansas.
State Senator Jeremy Hutchinson is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. It's likely to have its hands full this next legislative session. Senator Hutchinson shared his thoughts on the big items that he expects to deal with, and maybe even an early season prediction for the Hogs to go bowling this January. Senator Hutchinson, tell me a little bit about what's on your legislative agenda for 2017. What are you working on right now?
Well, primarily criminal justice reform. That's going to be my biggest issue to tackle next session. But there's also going to be a lot of issues that may or may not come to the forefront depending on how these constitutional amendments are voted on. If the tort reform measure passes that the nursing homes are pushing, then the legislature will be asked to set caps, and that'll come through Judiciary Committee. If the marijuana, either one or both of the marijuana amendments pass, and the legislature will have to set up a statutory and regulatory scheme in order to regulate that. So right now I'm focused on criminal justice reform, but it's subject to change depending on the will of the electorate come November.
Hogs won a big game over TCU this past weekend. Are you ready to go out on a limb and tell me how what's that win-loss record going to be this year?
I think we at least get 8. I feel very good about 8, and I would guarantee a bowl bid this year after starting out 2-0. Look at the schedule. We've got 2 more should be easy games, and then Missouri we should be able to beat. So I think we're almost guaranteed a bowl bid.
That's Senator Jeremy Hutchinson. A little early in the season, but why not set some expectations particularly high after that crazy TCU victory last week. When we come back, we'll run through a few important business headlines of the week as we go inside the numbers. Plus, how about a new political podcast that offers prizes for what you may know? Chris Saliza from the Washington Post explains after this.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
As Arkansas's population grows, so do our energy demands. But with the right mix of resources, reliable, affordable power will always be a reality. These resources are all around us in our rivers, blowing through our trees, even right below our feet. The answer isn't focusing on one resource, it's embracing them all. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas know that a balanced approach to power builds our communities and powers our dreams. Visit themixmatters.com and see why there's power in knowledge.
It was a busy week on the business front. Let's go inside the numbers for the latest. Starting with the number 3%, the Arkansas Health Insurance Marketplace Legislative Oversight Committee, that's quite a mouthful. It approved a 3% fee on its insurance plans after an inconclusive discussion about what the law that created the marketplace actually says. The 3% fee will be assessed starting December 1st to all qualified health plans sold in the marketplace during the plan year 2017. Now, the marketplace is the mechanism for about 65,000 Arkansans who are employees of small businesses in the state to purchase insurance that was created by the Affordable Care Act. How about the number 1 in 5? That's how many Arkansans are considered food insecure. New statistics showed that the state's food insecurity percentage from 2013 to 2015 has fallen from 19.7% to 19.2%. That's good, but officials say we are still way above pre-recession levels. Now, food insecure means a family has trouble providing enough food for all family members because of a lack of resources and access. For the record, nationally, the food insecurity rate dropped to 12.7% in 2015, Arkansas, a little above the national average there. 60, that's the number of jobs coming to the Little Rock Airport. American Airlines will add an aircraft maintenance center for its smaller jets at the former Hawker Beechcraft hangar at the Clinton Airport. American Airlines will invest $2 million to upgrade the facility and add 60 new jobs. You can keep up with stories like these each and every day on our website at talkbusiness.net. After the break, time to talk more politics. Chris Saliza with the Washington Post tells me about his new political podcast when we come back.
Circuits turn on the lights by making a connection, by closing the loop. At Entergy, we believe our economy is circular too. What you put in comes back. So we invest billions in new infrastructure, which helps attract new industry, which helps create new jobs. We partner with local communities to electrify the economy. And together, we power life. Entergy.
You've likely heard of the Great Arkansas Treasure Hunt. In fact, you or your business may have property to claim in the hunt. But where does this treasure come from? Businesses like yours. The law calls it unclaimed property. If your business is holding money on its books that you've not been able to return to the owner, it's most likely unclaimed property, and the law requires it to be sent to the state auditor's office each year. Auditor Andrea Lee's office can make the process for businesses to comply with the law easy and straightforward. Help us help you return Arkansans' unclaimed property at auditor.ar.gov.
Well, this past week on our broadcast version of Talk Business and Politics, we were joined by Chris Saliza with the Washington Post for some political insight on the presidential race. I also asked Saliza about his new fix for political junkies. It's called Sequiza. Last question for you here. You started a new kind of a podcast this week. Sequiza, is that how I pronounce it there? Tell me a little bit about what that is.
Perfectly pronounced.
All right. Tell me what it's about.
So I've been I've been wanting to do a podcast for a long time. I love radio. I do a fair amount of TV, but TV is hard because it's, you only get so much time usually to talk. I like radio and audio in general because you get a little more time to talk. The problem is, this is true of almost everything in politics, the political podcast landscape's pretty crowded. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. So what I've came up with is we're doing a quiz show. I have two contestants, guests every week. I run through some quotes. I run through some headlines. Are they real? Are they fake? We do a lightning round. I give out a prize, which is a thumbs up trophy. Can't go wrong with that. The loser has to tweet out something nice about me. First episode is live, iTunes or Stitcher. It's Chuck Todd, the host of Meet the Press on NBC, who I assume most people have heard of. And if you haven't heard of the woman who is the other contestant, her name is Alexandra Petri. She works for The Post. She writes our humor column called Compost. Hilarious. Good first episode. We're going to do it every Thursday for the foreseeable future. Thanks for letting me plug it. Sequizza, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever podcasts are not even sold, but produced.
That's Chris Cillizza with the Washington Post. He's one of the top political analysts in the country. He's a great guy on top of all that, if you can't tell from that last portion of our interview there. Catch more of our interview at talkbusiness.net and read his work at The Fix on WashingtonPost.com. I highly recommend it. That's all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. I'm Roby Brock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.